So it all comes down to this then, the last day of the 2003 Formula One season. And whatever happens in this race, today is going to be a very momentous day. Kimi Raikkonen is 9 points behind Michael Schumacher. If Kimi is going to win the title, it'll be the biggest turnover in the 53-year history of the sport. Likewise, if Michael Schumacher wins his record 6th title, no exaggeration to say, it'll be the greatest achievement in the history of Formula One. 53 laps of the Japanese Grand Prix to decide the 2000 world titles begins. No! Look at Schumacher, look at Raikkonen cutting right across. Cracking start by Alonso. He's up into 3rd place on the run down to the first corner. Edging out the Toyotas. Coulthard has had a cracking start as well. Barrichello leads it though from Montoya with Alonso 3rd. Michael Schumacher looks like he got safely through turn 1.
And there was a Sauber push to the outside, but a little bit of contact. No major damage though. Barrichello well away. A little bit of blue smoke. I think it was more a car touching the ground than anything else. There then is Michael Schumacher.
So as they go through the snaking S's and up there, look at Montoya though. Smoke coming out of the back of his car. Possibly a little bit of overfill on the oil pipe. Barrichello leads. Montoya 2nd. Alonso 3rd. D'Amata 4th for Toyota. 5th Coulthard. 6th Panis. 7th now Kimi Raikkonen up 1 place. 8th Button. 9th Webber. And look at this. Montoya already at the hairpin having a go at Barrichello. Attack, attack, attack for Juan Pablo Montoya. He wants to get the win of this race. Michael Schumacher has gained 2 places at the start. He's now 12th.
And look at little Alonso then, up, and there he goes, Montoya through then, on the way into Spoon. So much more speed than Rubens Barrichello. Barrichello really at sea, and he's now under attack from Alonso too. That was amazingly easy, and not a place you normally see Formula One cars overtaking. And it seems as if Raikkonen was shaping up against the back of Panis too, on the way into 130R. Does he make that stick? Barrichello under pressure around the outside, but he has the racing line. Raikkonen did clear the Toyota of Panis, I believe, in the background. Coulthard looking feisty in 5th place too.
And how often have we seen this? The opening laps of a Grand Prix. Juan Pablo Montoya, such an opportunist, such an aggressive driver off the start line. And on lap 1, he has taken the lead of the Japanese Grand Prix. So much anger inside him after the American Grand Prix. That drive-through penalty he felt was quite unjust and which completely wiped out his chances of the World Championship. It was a very tough call indeed for the stewards there, but today he means to avenge it by winning the Japanese Grand Prix.
So a very cautious first lap then from Michael Schumacher. He's just 4 positions away from winning the World Championship. In front of him are Sato, Wilson, Webber, and Button is the man that's got that World Championship point at this very early stage. Look at that. That is between the 2 Jaguars, Sato and Ralf Schumacher spinning off at the back. That'll not do their chances of a Constructors' World Championship any good at all. Surely he'll regain in last place.
He had gone from 19th up to 14th, so he's gone right back to the back again, as it were. And that's exactly where he spun yesterday in the qualifying session in the rainy conditions.
Either they are going to use Barrichello to back up the pack, or Montoya has just got less fuel or something. He did a 1:33.8, the next fastest, and Michael Schumacher trying at the inside of 130R there. He now knows he's got to get on with it, otherwise Jarno Trulli will be past him, and that's the last thing he needs. But Montoya then, 33.8 again, still a second a lap faster than Barrichello, who's a second a lap faster than the rest of them.
It's a terrific pace from Juan Montoya. He's really, really going for it. Michael Schumacher lines up Wilson down the inside. We ride on board with the world champion as he tries on the inside and succeeds. The corner he virtually owns on this racetrack. No one can carry as much speed into that turn as Michael Schumacher. Montoya leads there, 3.9 seconds the gap. Barrichello took half a second out of him on that lap. Alonso has slipped back a little bit from those 2 as Raikkonen has another little jink and another little look, and there's some action at the top of the straight. Looks like Michael Schumacher's getting racy. He's gone through in 11th place now, Michael Schumacher.
Webber, Sato and Schumacher were side by side as they went down the pit straight. By the time they got down to turn 1, Sato kept it all together. A lot of pressure on his shoulders, as you said, James.
As we expected then, the field opening out. Michael Schumacher seems to be dropping back from Takuma Sato there on that rear-facing camera. Here he is. Here is the reigning world champion. This is unexpected. Lap 7. He's lost his front wing. Michael Schumacher has lost his front wing. I don't believe it. We expected drama, but we didn't expect a drama-rama like this. He's got a lot of fighting back to do. But remember, Raikkonen has to win this Grand Prix to deprive Schumacher of the championship. So it's a big deal, but it's not the end of the world yet.
Well, maybe there was some contact. We haven't seen it on the screen. We do know they were side by side, three of them. Maybe Michael just tagged Ted. Did you see anything?
No, we didn't, but I tell you what, it was definitely a part of a contact because it was broken at the uprights. That's textbook what happens. They're putting the opportunities, put a load of fuel in. That's a long stop. They can do that at about 8 seconds, but that's log 18.
Yes, well, there we saw he was having a go at Sato, and yes, he's just touched him. Look, Sato taking the line into the last chicane, that is. It wasn't down at turn one. It's on the way into the last chicane, so Michael didn't lose too much time limping back to the pits with a broken nose. But you have to say he was nowhere near the zone for overtaking there.
And
Montoya going slowly.
Fairly slowly. That's Degner 2. That's a very slow exit speed from Degner 2. You're absolutely right, Martin. Something has happened to Montoya. You can hear the engine stuttering. Listen.
Oh, definitely going extremely slowly. Where is Barrichello? Presumably he's already gone through. The Japanese director's not having his finest afternoon here. We keep missing some critical action, but unquestionably Montoya is coasting. And what is this all about? This is Ralph spinning for the second time today down. He didn't quite spin. It was like a half lazy spin, a bit like his brother ended up, and Sir Frank Williams is going to be sitting at home going crazy over this. Just will not work out for the Williams team. And off goes Frentzen in the Sauber Ferrari.
What a Grand Prix! This is incredible. It hasn't started raining yet. There is talk of that later on, and that will obviously change things very much in Michael Schumacher's favour. But D'Amata comes in. That's released Raikkonen. He's now up into third place with his rear gunner Coulthard stuck to his tail, protecting his teammate. The pit lane entry is just down on the other side as they drop down the hill. Is Rubens coming in? He is, and Alonso's coming in as well. We're going to have a pit stop race.
It's a really tricky pit entry now, given that they've changed the last chicane. It's a slightly clumsy in and then down to 80 kilometers per hour, 50 miles per hour. Why they look so pedestrian down there. And it seems as if Alonso gains something under braking as they bring it down to the speed limit. Coulthard is pitting too, and we know, and there seemed to be a long time getting the front wheels on that Ferrari, and Alonso is going to make it, is he not quite? Barrichello with the advantage of being further down the pit lane and just stays in front.
Here he comes thundering in his box. The target is 7 seconds. If that is gonna, what the, oh no, I thought that was running. No, it's okay. Oh, it's longer. It's longer. Are they throwing a 6 here? 9.2. Are they putting him on a 2-stop? That must be what Ron Dennis was saying to you, Martin.
Well, if they're doing that, he needs to get down there in front of the Toyota and the Jordan. He does that. It's Coulthard in front of him. So that, I think, worked out very nicely for McLaren, and that is no surprise. They calculate where the rest of the traffic is on the racetrack. Raikkonen with the fresh set of tyres. Of course, they did fuel him up onto a 2-stopper, so he'll have more fuel on board than... and here goes Michael Schumacher then up the inside and takes the corner, and that was what he was trying to do with Sato, but he was further back, and Sato, I think, was again slightly less willing than that. So Schumacher then moves up to P13. Alonso out of the race, so that's good news for Raikkonen too. Alonso out of second place.
Well, it's quite a lottery, isn't it, this afternoon here in Suzuka, Japan. So much at stake, 2 world championships at stake. At the moment, the constructors isn't looking too good from a Williams point of view, but the retirement of Fernando Alonso, that's one less driver between Kimi Raikkonen and the lead. Raikkonen 32 seconds behind this man as Rubens came into the pits, just fiddling with his visor then, and Rubens should join comfortably in front of Raikkonen.
Yeah, and I don't want to rain on the parade, but he's also 20 seconds ahead of Coulthard before he made the pit stop, so I don't think you'll see too much of DC in this little encounter with his men in the pits, and away he goes, and Coulthard in the background then just coming down to his garage. It's a very difficult place here to make your stop. There's Raikkonen then in the background. We know he's on a 2-stopper, so, well, we think we know he's on a 2-stopper, so both those men have got to stop one more time this afternoon. Both Raikkonen and Barrichello, we think, have one more scheduled stop. Ralph then has passed Panis, Michael has not. So Panis in a Schumacher sandwich at the moment, and Ralph marching on. That solved his problem of what to do with Michael behind him. And Michael's pace is good. I mean, it's 34s and 35s, but he doesn't sort of look that lively, does he? He doesn't look ever so interested, and probably a touch nervous of losing the nose again. He will know well that Raikkonen is in second place.
Well, he's lining up Panis now. Look at this, diving down the inside, and Panis puts up no fight whatsoever. Little jink with the steering, but not much. Michael Schumacher dives down. That's the favourite passing place here today, and I suppose because of that was always likely to be the place where front wings would get knocked off. But you have to say, the luck of Michael Schumacher, what a place to have the front wing knocked off. If it had happened at the beginning of the lap, he's got 3 miles with the front wing buried underneath the car, instead of which it's just a few yards. Easy peasy then for Michael Schumacher this time. As Michael Schumacher from 6th place makes his final, hopefully, pit stop of the 2003 season. The last time possibly his mechanics will see him. Is he going to be the world champion this afternoon, or isn't he? You'd have to say it's looking pretty tidy for him at the moment. Button will go past him, Trulli will go past him, Panis will go past him, Sato may or may not go past him. He probably should. We'll see.
I'm not so sure. I mean, he's got the speed, but he's really, having had that long pit stop, he still ended up stopping, and he's given himself an awful lot of work to do for the rest of the afternoon, and it seems as if Heidfeld didn't quite make it. D'Amata in the Toyota, Ralf Schumacher in the Williams then, and they were 4th and 5th. Tight fight then, Ralf Schumacher making his way back through the field. Remember, these two are ahead of Michael Schumacher. Is D'Amata going to stay in front of the Williams? It looks very much like it, doesn't it? There goes the Toyota, and Ralph away with a solid stop, but Toyota had an answer for it. And look at the traffic coming down here as Michael Schumacher slots in ahead of Ralph, but behind the Toyota. That's crucial. D'Amata with a clear gap. Ralph then in the slipstream, but he's not quite close enough for a go in a 130i. He's going to have a look anyway, but nowhere near, and he will compromise himself on turn in. He did not have the ideal turn in, and Michael goes on the offensive.
This is great racing here in the closing stages of the 2003 World Championship. Michael Schumacher needs to be in front of Cristiano D'Amata to be in the championship position to win the world title, but his brother's trying to take it away from him. Down the main straight they go. Schumacher blocks. Ralph goes down the inside, and Michael Schumacher takes the lead. When they were kids together in Kirpen, Michael Schumacher said he sometimes used to let his brother win. He'd let him through just for fun. He's not enjoying this though. He does not want his brother racing him here, and Ralph is trying to take the title away from him. Ralf Schumacher still having a go at his brother.
And they're all over the show. Michael trying to break the toe of his brother. We know the Ferrari's massively fast through 130i. Look at that. He pulled a gap on him enough to have a little sneaky look. And Ralph, he's already spun, or 1.5 times really in that chicane. He's been very clumsy through there. But the Ferrari is massive through 130i, and that's why he's passing people so easily into the chicane.
Barrichello then. Whoa, what's this? Michael Schumacher, Ralf Schumacher, straight on. That's the old chicane they've gone down. We're looking facing backwards. We can see Michael Schumacher, but where's his brother? He's disappeared. Ralf Schumacher, is that him at the... No, it's not. Ralf Schumacher's disappeared. We can't see him.
And he's lost his nose, so Ralf Schumacher pointing the wrong way down the racetrack. He's on... He's now back into the chicane, comes in, and what a clumsy race he's had. And look, this will start with Michael having a go at D'Amata, who for the first time this afternoon, somebody covers the line. And so close was Ralph to hitting the back of his brother, had to take avoiding action. Michael, I do not think, will be penalised for cutting the chicane. He did not gain a position or save a position. And Ralph then, his heart must have been in his mouth. He so nearly took his brother out of the Grand Prix.
Rubens Barrichello on target to win the Grand Prix. Just 2 more corners to go for him. And there's Ralf Schumacher in his slipstream. He's had an eventful afternoon. He's currently in 12th place. Rubens goes through 130R for the last time, hits the braking zone. And he is going to win the Japanese Grand Prix, and well, he will deserve it. A fine drive for Rubens Barrichello. Win number 3 of the season then for the young Brazilian. And Ferrari are the Constructors' champions, but where is Michael Schumacher? He's the man we really want to see. He's about 60 seconds behind Rubens Barrichello, so we're going to have to wait a full minute to hail the new world champion. There he is, out of the back of the racetrack. Raikkonen comes through across the line to finish second. He's second in the World Championship, and we ride the final few miles then with Michael Schumacher.
I think he's going to be extra emotional. I mean, this has been a strange race for him, and we know Button then has crossed the line in fourth, truly fifth. But I think this, of all of his championships, might be the most special. I'm expecting to see something very strong and powerful from Michael Schumacher as young Sato then heads for the line.
Sato goes across the line in sixth, then it will be Cristiano De Matta, and then it will be Michael Schumacher. Congratulations and celebrations. We were all around to see it then, this historic moment when Michael Schumacher became the first six-time World Formula One champion. Without a shadow of a doubt, it's the greatest achievement in the history of Formula One racing, and it's been done by this man after a very eventful Grand Prix.
And Michael will be pleased for Rubens personally, as well as for himself, in terms of he went and made sure Raikkonen did not win that Grand Prix.
For the last time this year, the champagne!
So it's Rubens Barrichello and Ferrari in the spotlight as they clinch their one and not yet again the Constructors' World Championship. The Drivers' Champion, he's lurking somewhere in the shadows. It's Michael Schumacher. He's a historic 6 times World Champion. Thank you for joining us today on this wonderful and historic afternoon. We will see you in 2004.
Obviously, I had to go flat out, especially after I lost my nose in lap 7 or 8, that was. And from that moment, it was early stage in the race. I knew Montoya was out at that stage, and I knew that the two McLarens were both behind Rubens, and you wouldn't know what would have happened with weather condition, with strategy and so on, what could have been the outcome in the end. So I really had to make sure by myself on top to be at least in 8th position. Thanks, I could rely on Rubens in the late stage of the race, but still I had to fight because you never know whether a car would finish. We had Formula One, and we have always seen things happen in the past, so you have to think about the worst to be safe, and that's what I was trying. And the fight with Cristiano and with Ralph and myself in between was quite a tough one, and I really had to make sure I stay and get that 8th position to have the point in case.